My inspiration is the surf and turf, a classic dish of a piece of beef with a prawn or lobster on top. But because I'm using yabbies from a creek and a marron, then I've got to rename it John's Beef and Creek. I'm starting with yabbies, which I've pre-cooked in boiling salted water with a splash of white wine vinegar for both flavour and to give a firmer texture. The yabby is unique to Australia and it's very, very hard to find anywhere else in the world, but you could use langoustines because the langoustine tail has the very similar flesh to it. Let's talk steak. There's a beautiful piece of beef from this farm with a beautiful eye in the middle and around the outside this piece of fat. Now that piece of fat is both your friend and your enemy, because between the fat and the meat there's a line of sinew. That sinew must be snipped. If you don't, it's like a big piece of plastic and it wraps around your steak and it becomes really tough. So you snip that first, but the reason it's your friend is without that fat you don't get the flavour. Now when you cook a steak, here's the law. Oil on the steak, never in the pan. Seasoning after the oil because salt draws out water and the oil protects the flesh from that salt. Steak into the pan. And that sound, that's the sound I want. So then a little bit of seasoning onto the other side, salt and pepper. After a couple of minutes on each side, remove the steaks and let them rest. And that steak is going to be just south of medium. Now, I'm going to prepare my marron. Now, into this pan, I'm going to put a good lump of butter with those beef juices and then my marron tail. Look at that beautiful meat. Look at that in there. That is sweet and delicious. Beautiful, beautiful meat. Whilst the marron cooks in the steak juices with the butter, chop some thyme, chives and tarragon. Then the yabbies go in with the marron just to warm through. Now add those herbs to my butter. And the smell of those herbs as they hit that butter with the rich juices of the beef in the pan and all the lovely flavour that's come off that marron tail is intoxicating. It just grabs hold of your nose and twists it and makes you feel like you're somewhere very special indeed. Time to serve, just slice the steak. A couple of yabbies around the outside of each steak, a marron tail on top, and then our butter around the outside. So there you have it. There's my version of surf and turf, John's Beef and Creek.